Welcome back to another UNC football recruiting podcast here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. And if you're checking us out on our YouTube channel, Tar Heel Illustrated, I am THI publisher Andrew Jones, and joining me is our Director of Football Recruiting, Miss Deana King. And Deana, this is a big day for North Carolina. The Tar Heels got another commitment, the 18th kid to commit to UNC for the class 2021. Now, when Tony Grimes enrolls, I guess, in August, maybe this class will go down a number. Rivals has not adjusted that yet, so we're going to roll along with it as it is. But Trevion Stevenson, an outside linebacker, defensive end, he's totally fits this hybrid thing of Jay Bateman's. He announced that he has committed to the Tar Heels. He attends Phoebus High School in Hampton, Virginia, a two-star kid. Staff likes a lot of things about him. I think the fans need to just not worry about two-star stuff. So what are your thoughts on Trevion Stevenson becoming the newest future Tar Heel?
Well, he's from the Tidewater region, so Mac's mission of trying to get that pipeline going again in the Virginia Beach, Tidewater region. Another flag up there at Hampton, and most people remember Hampton, Virginia is the home of Ronald Curry. So Trevion, 6'5", around 217, 218, long, slender build. Got a lot of potential. He may be a sleeper prospect. As you said, if the staff loves him, the fans need to love him.
Yeah, we'll get into the 757 element of this in a minute. First, we'll finish up on Trevion and the kind of player that he is, an athlete that he is, and we've learned a lot about him in the last few days. He is an athlete. He played 7-on-7 with Sam Howell. He can run and catch passes. He's caught some passes from Sam Howell in 7-on-7. I think that this is the kind of guy that they bring in there and disregard the star rating stuff, because look at the offer sheet. You've got some really big time offers there. Michigan, Penn State, Miami. There's some good offers on his offer sheet. He was committed to Pitt. And he told us that one of the things that UNC really likes about him is his grit, how hard-nosed he is, his work ethic. And if a guy goes to play for Pat Narduzzi, he's going to bring in dudes like that. So clearly that's an element that this young man will bring to the program. And also the fact that he's got that length, he's got the body type. Bateman took a lot of dudes in Army that may not have fit certain scripts and made it work there. I have no reason to believe that this is something that they won't make work.
Well, Trevion, he went into detail on actually how Coach Bateman wanted to use him in that hybrid defense, and I believe he's about the first kid that ever kind of went into detail how they would like to use him, because in Bateman's defense there are several integral parts, and I loved him explaining a little bit about Bateman's defense, because it's for opposing coaches, it's kind of been kind of hard to figure out. So he long, athletic, kid that he'll be able to, when he gets in the weight room with Coach Hess and the staff, he'll fill out, and this staff, they'll use him where they need him the most.
Well, just let people know, you did a Zoom with him and his head coach a couple days ago when we learned that he was going to commit, and he discussed that in the Zoom. So in addition to this video here on our YouTube channel, Tar Heel Illustrated, you can find that one. We're going to post it a few minutes after this is actually released, after we release this. And you can also see it on our site at TarHeelIllustrated.com. It's 18 kids now. I think a little backstory is important, quick backstory, because there was all the talk about George Wilson, and everybody had him projected as committing to Carolina. Then the last several days, everybody flipped their projections to South Carolina, and that's where he went. This has kind of been in the works the last few weeks. It kind of coincides with the timeline that we've reported about George Wilson, and it kind of fit in. We know that Carolina has talked to a couple other kids as well, but they really zeroed in on this young man once the other process sort of started to take place. I think that's important because he is also from the same area that Wilson from Virginia Beach, Hampton and Virginia Beach, all part of the 757. I think it's important for Carolina to get another kid from the 757. A lot of people thought, well, gee, they're just going to get a 5-star and move on. Well, no. As you mentioned earlier, this is about planting flags. People in that area will joke, and people in North Carolina will also joke, that the Tidewater area is sort of like northeastern North Carolina. And in order for UNC to achieve its goals on the football field, it has to do well in that area. So I think, yeah, you get the 5-star kid, but the message being sent to that area by taking a 2-star kid that the staff thinks is a lot better than a star rating is a really important message, because letting those kids know this is North Carolina territory. We're putting flags not just in Tony Grimes' yard, but we're putting them in a lot of other yards. We want to make this a UNC area.
And those planting those flags, they're willing to take kids that want to be Tar Heels, and that's one thing I think Trevion, he really wants to be a Tar Heel. The relationship with Dre Bly goes way back. I mean, he said Dre had been up in the school since he was his freshman year. Dre's a household name, a legend up there. And he also mentioned, the fact that Newsome is in that area, and he always followed him, some player that he liked to watch and a kind of a role model for him. So it's big to be, I guess, take a variety of kids. So UNC likes his film, likes his attitude, likes his work ethic. So, like you said, it's not all about the stars. It's, this staff has shown that they can discover like diamonds in the rough and turn them into prospects. I mean, their staff is loaded with, people like Kenny Browning, Sparky Woods, and people like that know what they're doing.
Yeah, and if you watch him, I see something more than 2-star, and 6'5", 217, an athlete who has the grind mentality. Who wouldn't take a kid like that? I should also remind Carolina fans, there's a guy in the NFL playing for the Washington, whatever their name is going to be, who was a walk-on, led the team in tackles for a few years. He's going to stick in the NFL for a while. So this is, as much as we use the numbers, the rankings and stuff like that, I wouldn't live on that. This kid has the specs. This kid has the drive, and he looks the part. And who are we? This staff, with their track record, if they really like this kid and they're bringing him on, I don't see any reason anybody should second guess them. There's no point in that right now. The track record suggests otherwise. And
when Mac took over, I mean, there was some attrition. He's building a team, and you can't have everybody a 4 and 5-star. You got to have some mixtures. You got to have some guys that are to build depth, and Trevion, who knows what he does when he gets there. He may be a 4-year player, and he may not be counted on right away like some of the other kids, but he's there, and he's getting better, and he's getting excellent training from a great coaching staff, a great training staff, weightlifting, and everything. And he also, I asked him about the early enrollee stuff, and that's still up in question because it's putting a big issue for these kids that are hoping to early enroll, but their season may not happen until spring in some of these states. So he was didn't really know how to answer that question, and I know it's going to be a tough decision for all kids.
You can get all of our content, premium and non-premium. We cover UNC football and basketball, the teams, and recruiting at TarHeelIllustrated.com. Just $8.33 a month. You can interact with Deana on our premium message boards. That alone is worth $8.33 a month. And, of course, you get everything that we produce at THI. Trevion Stevenson is the newest member of North Carolina's class of 2021. They've got a couple more to come, and we will be on top of that for you right here at TarHeelIllustrated.com. She's Deana King. I'm Andrew Jones. Thanks for stopping by.